Okay, pretty simple game. It's a line of scrimmage game, and when you give up 438 yards rushing, and offensively you have 32 yards rushing, you're not even giving yourself an opportunity to be in the game. We had way too many negative yardage football plays. Again, third down conversions, getting off the field, big explosive plays. We have to move on. I think the bye week's coming at the appropriate time. A lot of goals to get better as a football team, and everyone has to be responsible for their own self-determination and accountability to get better during this bye week. A lot of it will be spent in the training room of getting healthy. Our kids are fighting, scratching, clawing. I told them I love them more today than yesterday. And I've never been through a season like this where the injuries just continue to mount up. But that's the game of football, and that's recruiting, that's development, that's having a solid program, and that's everyone waiting their time. And when their opportunity comes to play, you make the most of it. And again, we'll get better. Got to keep things in perspective. Alabama's a very, very talented football team, and we still have a lot to play for. And it starts in our bye week. It starts with looking at everything that we're doing, and for the most part, getting healthy. But it's a line of scrimmage league. It's a line of scrimmage game, and you're not going to win any football games giving up the rushing yards and the lack of rushing productivity, which we had tonight. So I'll answer any questions you may have.
John Bryce and Edward Ashcroft.
You touched on it a little bit there, Butch, but how much is this game, particularly as the injuries continue to mount, an illustration of how much more work there is to do in terms of recruiting and stacking more classes atop one another? And then obviously there were injuries there, but Marcus Tatum, the decision to pull the red shirt.
Yeah, well, first of all, Marcus has worked exceptionally hard, but we had no choice. We're down numbers. We're depleted in the offensive line. When you look at being down Brett Kendrick, being down Ja'Shawn Robertson, being down Dylan Wiseman, and the thing you can't replace is their experience. Again, I thought, our younger guys battled. They did some good things. I'll know a little bit more when I see the video, but it is, John, it takes years to build a program, not a team. And we'll continue to work at it. I'm excited to go back and watch the video and see how the individuals playing for the first time and having the amount of volume of repetitions, how they did. But it does, and especially in the line of scrimmage, because you're playing against 22, 23-year-old men that have been in college weight programs for 2, 3, 4 years, and it's a grown man's league. And again, we'll continue to learn from this. We'll move on, and this team will bounce back. We have a lot of football left to be played. We put ourselves in position to be playing meaningful games after the bye week, and that's the approach we're going to take. We're going to get better, and we're going to be in every game. And every game from here on out is going to be a battle. Teams have a hard time recovering from, when you look at the productivity that wasn't on the field tonight. And that's no excuse. The standard, the expectations don't change no matter who's in the game. That does not change. But these kids will come back. I believe in them.
Edward.
Butch, just staying with the injuries, how concerned are you, though, even with this bye week going forward, that you might not have the numbers to finish out the season?
Very concerned. But that's football. And usually when you have a run on injuries, it usually affects maybe one position group, 2 position groups. It's affected every position group. And that's why this bye week is very, very important. We have to get our health back, and we have to have some youngsters that there has to be a sense of urgency on their part to get better to help us for this stretch run after the bye week.
Paul, Jimmy, and then Reed.
Which you kind of mentioned, we've never been through anything like this, but I think you guys addressed less than 70 scholarship players today. How tough is that to just manage that? Because there are going to be nicks and bruises in the game. How do you kind of figure out how to manage that even going into the game?
Just next man in. What can you say? You're limited at some spots, and these kids are warriors. And again, I believe in them. They're going to be all right. They hurt, and like I told them in the locker room, how you feel is a byproduct of your investment and how much you've invested in this football program and your performance and in this football team. And they hurt. and rightfully so. Football is a humbling game, and we pride ourselves in stopping the run, and we pride ourselves in running the football. And it's a week-to-week season, but also there's a lot of positive things to move forward and get better through this bye week and come back and take it and working to be 1-0 like we have been, 5-2, playing the schedule we played. Again, these kids have had great resiliency, and they'll continue to have that.
Jimmy?
Butch, coming in, you obviously knew better who was or wasn't going to play on the line of scrimmage. Were you concerned that you might struggle at the line of scrimmage in this game, given how many players weren't going to be ready to go? And did that impact your offensive game plan?
It does impact your offensive game plan. Where they do a great job is, you know, their defensive front has impacted every game they've been in, and you know, they do a great job also of being able to play man coverage. They're the #1 team in the country, and rightfully so. So it forces you to get rid of the ball quick. It forces you to change launch points of the quarterback. But you also then have to be able to defeat man coverage out on the perimeter. And again, they just line up, and a lot of times even on special teams with their schemes, they say they're better than you, and it's me against you, and football is a game of one-on-one matchups. That's really what it is. Football is a game of one-on-one matchups. So, again, was the game plan a little bit different? Yes. And you're always going to play to the strengths of your players.
Reed?
With the run game not having no success, was there any, you just kept beating it, was there any idea to go differently, or you knew that they were just strong on defense? Or?
We thought we had angles. We thought we had some good calls. Again, football comes down to one-on-one matchups. You know, the X's and O's don't breathe, and you can draw everything up. And again, it just comes down to execution, and it's not one person's fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's just it comes down to execution, and we have to be better for it, and we have to learn from it, and we'll learn from that, and we'll do our due diligence over the bye week as well. But it's unacceptable. It starts with us as coaches. We're one family. You know, you win as a team, you lose as a team, and that's how that goes. And it starts with me. It starts with our coaches. It starts with everyone. It starts with the discipline to execute, the ability to play with, you know, the mental conditioning, the mental toughness that it takes. And again, I don't want to use youth as an excuse. I don't want to use any of that. We didn't play well. We got beat. We get better for it, and we move on, and we be better for it, and you know, work hard each and every day to continue to win.
Finish up with Patrick, Steve, Austin, and Jesse.
Which obviously Alabama's got a lot of talented playmakers, but their quarterbacks seem to find a lot of open running space. I guess just what was the game plan in terms of trying to stop him, and how was he able to be successful?
I think what they did a good job is they created one-on-one matchups for him. Whether it was a drop-down safety, whether it was a corner, whether it was a scrape linebacker, and you know, they ran the same stuff we run. And he did a good job of getting the ball laterally and then being able to puncture your defense vertically, and they were able to do that. And we had way too many missed tackles and running our feet, and I give them a lot of credit. They have a very good offensive line, and I thought, you know, he showed some things, but again, you know, we pride ourselves in stopping the run, and that's unacceptable.
Steve?
Fourth straight game against a ranked opponent. How much did the grind how much were you paid for just the grind the last few weeks today, do you think, or did that have any impact?
Well, I think it had an impact just by the inordinate amount of injuries. You know, again, you know, we played the third toughest schedule in America, and you know, they've been hard-fought, physical football games, emotional-filled football games. But in order for us to compete at a high level with which we want to, you know, it comes down. I think John's previous question is, I always said it is, everyone in this conference has marquee players. The teams that win consistently are the teams that have great role players, that embrace their role, that are able to do that. And we have some individuals that have been able to do that for us. But it has been a grind. I guess the best way to answer your question, Steve, is to say the bye week is coming at the exact appropriate time.
Finish up with Austin and Jesse.
Butch, through each and every injury, Derek Barnett has continued to excel. Could you just speak on just what he's given you from a defensive standpoint?
Warrior. There isn't anybody in our football program who has more toughness than him. Great pride in his performance, the way he prepares week in and week out, not just on the field, but in video study, from also the way he takes care of his body, the expectations that he's put on himself, the leadership qualities that he's bringing to the table. If I'm a defensive lineman or any player on our football team, I'm getting around Derek Barnett as much as I possibly can.
Jesse?
Butch, would you just say that, you know, some of the special teams issues today, is that kind of an example of the depleted depth and just guys not having a ton of experience in a lot of spots there?
We still have to make plays. Again, you guys know us. We pride ourselves in winning field position, winning the hidden yardage battle, and playing championship special teams. And we weren't able to do that. And you cannot give up a long punt return for a touchdown. That's flat out unacceptable. I thought Trevor Daniel punted the ball exceptionally well. And again, you're only as good as your last play. But our coverage teams, and it gets back to individuals understanding their roles, embracing their roles, and one game can change the magnitude of a game. You know, one play rather, on special teams. And we've done a good job to date, but again, today was unacceptable.
Thank you guys. Derek Barnett
Thank
coming
you.
up. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.